Hey everyone, this is Johnny from johnnyfu.com, and I'm really excited to share with you this video on how to automate your emails so even while you're traveling to places like this, you can still make money online passively. This is actually a presentation that I made for my course members inside of Earnest Affiliate, but because the tips are so valuable in there and there's 33 other videos inside Earnest Affiliate, I didn't think anyone would mind me if I just shared this one. So check it out. I hope you learned something, and if you do sign up for any of these services that I earnestly use myself, I personally use, and I recommend not only to my paid students in my course, but my friends, my family, anyone who would actually want to set up an email campaign system, definitely use my links below so I can get credit for referring you. I'll see you inside, and let me know if you have any questions. Bye.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Module 8, Step 3. This is automating your emails. So first off, why email? Well, this is actually the thing that I've been putting off for the longest. For years, I just refused to collect people's email addresses because I thought it was annoying, I thought it was useless. I didn't want to go through the process of it. I didn't want to spend the money on a email program or any of that stuff. And I just thought, you know what, it's a lot easier to get someone just like your Facebook page or maybe follow you on Twitter or something else, because that's all taken care of. It's easier to do. It's, you know, this little button that you press with like. And from day one, even years ago, people warned me. They said, you have to collect emails. You have to collect emails. You don't want to rely on social media. And at the time, it wasn't that clear, because when you had a friend on Facebook, or if you had a like on your Facebook page, it was easier than having an email address. But what happened was, and as predicted by people far smarter than us, they knew that Facebook was eventually going to own your traffic. Or I mean, they did own your traffic from day one. And eventually they're going to either make you pay a lot of money to reach that traffic, or just not send out, you know, your stuff in the first place. And now we can see that more clearly than ever. And it's the same with every platform. So no matter what platform it is, whether it's Periscope or Twitter or Instagram, Snapchat, whatever it is, you do not want to rely on them. For this year until pretty much the end of time, for the foreseeable future, email is going to be key. That's something that people are always going to use. It's always going to be a way to directly contact someone, and it'll never go out of style. It'll never die. Unlike social media platforms, people may use it less, or the actual platform itself might start charging you to access your own followers, your own fans. So 100%, no matter where you are starting, how far along you are, you have to start collecting email. And it gives you these main 4 benefits. One is it keeps you on their mind. Constant contact is the key to success. If people forget who you are, they're not going to buy anything from you ever. Just like a real estate agent. The reason why things like knocking on doors, as archaic as it sounds, still works today is the fact that when it is time for them to sell their house or buy a house, because you have been in constant contact with them, they are much more likely to go with you or that agent than someone who they haven't heard from in months or years, either because they just don't remember that person, or they don't trust them as much because they've kind of disappeared for a while. So you have to always be in touch with people. The second reason why you want to have people's email addresses is so you can make an announcement, whether it's a new blog post or a new book that you're coming out with, or a new course, whatever it is. You want to be able to reach them directly. And the problem with things like Facebook or Twitter or another social media platform is you are going to have to pay to be able to reach your audience, and even then they might not see it. Email is by far the easiest way. The third is email equals automated income. I'm going to show you how to set up your autoresponder, and it is the easiest and best way to automate your income. So all the work that we put in writing blog posts or creating content or creating, whatever it is, this is the key. This is, pretty much that push button profits that everyone wishes was a real thing. And it is. If you have an email list, you have good content. And the last thing I want to just talk about is, in general, it takes about 7 contacts with someone to build enough trust with them, to get them, to answer enough questions for people to want to buy something from you. And I used to be very against this because I've always been kind of an impulsive purchaser. If I was going to buy something, I usually buy it on the very first time, the very first day. Even if, even before when I was broke, if I wanted to buy, let's say, a TV or something, I would either just buy it that day or I'll never buy it. It's not something I think about. I research, I go back and forth on. If I'm going to buy something, even a car, I'm the type of person who goes into a dealership and says, okay, I can either afford it or I can't afford it. I'm either going to buy it or I'm not. I mean, that's it. But for 99% of people out there, people take their time. People don't like to commit to things right away. They want to do research. They want to think about it. They might go before they can actually afford it, so that they have to wait for their paycheck to come so they can actually buy it. There's a ton of reasons why on average, it takes 7 contacts or 7 touches, as salespeople call it, to build up both the timing and the trust for someone to buy something. So this is very important. So whenever you send an email, you want to think about what is your intent, what is your purpose of sending them the email. Don't just send them an email, for no reason to say hi. You want to either get them to come back to your blog, or you just want to build up the relationship. There's something called introductory emails, where in the beginning you don't have to sell them anything, you don't have to get them to do anything. You just want to kind of more introduce yourself more. It could just be very casual. You can even ask them to reply to it and say, tell me what you're working on, or tell me what your biggest challenges are, and I'd love to point you in the right direction. And this allows them to kind of discover your blog or your website a little bit more on their own first. And the reason why I like to send out an introduction series at the beginning is so I don't want to assume people know who I am or my story, and you can't assume that either. So let's say even if you're a world famous health expert or you're a personal trainer, and you would assume most people coming to your website and signing for your emailing list already know your backstory, know these things. They most likely don't, and that's actually a good problem, because that means you're probably growing, you're probably reaching a bigger audience than just your core fans or core friends that already know who you are. You're reaching people, far and wide. So definitely, use this, use your email sequence, especially in the beginning, to start building trust. And one of the easiest ways is in the first email, just tell them, say, hey, I personally read these emails and I'll answer you. So if you have any questions, you introduce yourself, just reply. And the other good thing that does is Gmail or whatever email client they're using will see that you guys are having a conversation, that it's not just a spam promotional message. It is something that you two are both actively engaging on, and this will allow your emails to go through into the primary inbox instead of a promotional folder. So how do you get their email in the first place? The easiest way is just to put an opt-in box on your blog or website. And this is another thing I struggled with for many, many years, where I didn't want to, trouble people. I didn't want to have a pop-up. I thought they were annoying, but they absolutely work. And if you put yourself into the potential customer's shoes, and you know that you are going to be giving them value, that you're going to be giving them good content, and you're going to help them achieve their goal, whether that be get in better shape or learn how to start a business, or whatever it is that you are blogging or writing about, they want this information. This is you helping them get to the posts or the blog posts or the books or whatever it is that they really need. So don't feel bad about asking for someone's email address. Here are some examples of the ones I'm currently using. If you want to see, what I'm using while you're watching this video, because things get updated all the time. You can check out my blog at johnnyfd.com or travellikeabosspodcast.com. But here's an example of what I'm currently using right now. I know for listeners of my podcast, the Travel Like a Boss podcast, a lot of people want to know how to pick a niche for their dropshipping store. So that is one of my giveaways. That's another a reason why people would sign up. Other people that come to my blog want to know about how to start a blog, or how to what's the first steps to building some kind of online business. So these are reasons why I give people to sign up. And even if you don't want to use a pop-up, you definitely want to have an after blog post. So the one that you see here, this automatically gets populated at the end of each blog post. Think of it as a reader comes to your site, they read your blog post, they love it, they want to know more information, and then it ends. Well, it doesn't have to end. You can have an opt-in box where they can put in the email address and get more information. One of the funny things is most email services, which I'll get to in a second, that help you collect emails and send out autoresponders and things like this, don't actually have very nice looking opt-in boxes. And I used to wonder why they didn't. And I think it's because they are so focused on building the back end of the email service and having that be reliable and strong that they don't have that much time to design nice looking opt-in boxes. So instead, what you actually are going to need to do is you're going to have one email client, which I'll recommend a few in the next slides, and you're going to want to use a separate company for the actual opt-in boxes. There's a free one called SumoMe. I'll have a link to that below. And recently, I have upgraded to Opt-in Monster, which is a paid service. But because emails are so valuable and it allows you to do so much more and make these cool, beautiful graphics, I have personally paid for them. So I do recommend them, and they're going to be in the description below as well. So one of the things that you want to do to get someone's email is you want to give them a giveaway bonus, something for them not only to benefit from right away, but also a reason for them to give you their email address. So depending on what your niche is or what your blog is about, there are different topics. It could be something on niche selection if you have more of a business blog. It can be a 10-day jumpstart diet if you blog about fitness, or it can be how to teach your dog how to sit. The 7-minute guide to teaching your dog how to sit. Or it could be something as easy as, hey, join our private Facebook group. I know there's a popular women's business blog that I think it's called the Spark Lounge, and all they do is they have an opt-in box saying, join a community of 1,000 women who have the same interests as you. Join our favorite, our private group at the Spark Lounge, and you'll enter your email address, and all they'll do is send you an email with an invite to a Facebook group. That's a private Facebook group. So it could be as easy as that. So what do you send them after you've collected the email? You give them this bonus. What you want to do is you want to set up an autoresponder. Now, the problem with all the free email clients is none of them actually allow you to set up an autoresponder. It is a paid service. What you can do in the beginning, if you are on a super tight budget and you just can't spend the $20 a month on the email campaign, is you can write these anyways and just manually send them out. So you can just keep a copy of them on your hard drive on Google Docs, and you can manually send them out every few days. But once you start making money, I mean, pretty much the first $20 you make, I want you to go out and sign up for this, because an email autoresponder will make you back your money. I mean, it'll make you back. For me personally, I think it was like 700% ROI or more, because it doesn't cost that much money. I think in the beginning, I was really reluctant on spending $10 a month on an email service, but it is one of the best things I've ever done. So, as soon as you can afford it, sign up for either Aweber, which is what I use. There's a bunch of other companies like Constant Contact or Get Drip, but I use Aweber. They've been tried and true. They're kind of one of the old school ones where people have been using them for 10 years. Everyone's familiar with it. They integrate with everything. So that is who I use. If you want to sign up, you can do it below. So here's an actual example of my current follow-up email campaign. Some people call it a drip funnel or a email autoresponder or a campaign. This will change. If you're curious what my current one is, you can just go to johnnyfd.com or any of my sites actually, and they're all going to have different ones. So if you go to like nomadsummit.com, which is my conference, you'll have a different autoresponder than on the Travel Like a Boss podcast, which is going to be different from my blog. So here is kind of a sample. What I do is immediately I send someone, actually, so right when someone signs up, they actually get a bonus where it's whatever I promised them. It might be the niche selection ebook guide. And a lot of people, it's up to you if you want to give them a bonus right away before they confirm their email, or if you want to give them the first bonus after they confirm. It depends on how much you trust everyone and how many things you have to give away. But I figure I'd rather just give people a ton of value. I want people to get that first gift for free and really enjoy it and get started right away. Then when they go in the email, they realize, hey, I got more bonuses. This is really cool. So bonus number 2 is my 5 steps to freedom video, as well as a dreamlining goal worksheet that people can fill out for themselves. Then I give them a free preview copy of my first book, 12 in Thailand. Then I send them some popular blog posts. One is my morning routine for success, where I kind of outline what I do, right when I wake up, to what I eat, exercise habits, work habits, all these things. Then I send them an email where I'm asking them a question, because I want to know what people's websites are. I want to invite them to the Travel Like a Boss Army Facebook group, and there I'm not selling anything, I'm not giving anything away, but it's a way for people to interact. And then more bonuses, more popular blog posts, and you can see on the right hand side the open rate. Depending on the headline, you'll see how many people open an email. So right away, that first bonus I give them, 57%, which is super high for email opens, especially for these promotional announcements. And then 53% people still very happy. And then it slowly drops down depending on the headline, but also just in general, the longer time goes by, and you can see the dates too. One gets sent immediately, then another one is 3 days later, then 5 days later, then 7 days later, 9 days later, 10 days later, 14 days later. And you could play with these to kind of figure out what is your best open rate, but also click rate, which means are people actually clicking the links inside your email or downloading the book or whatever it is. Another trick is if you want to really, really get people to be excited to buy whatever you're offering, follow this email sequence. This one is actually for a music artist. So they did a big study on an album release, and the standard email sequence, the one you see on top, on day 1 they send a short email introduction, which is always going to be important no matter what you're selling. And then there are 3 best, most popular YouTube videos. And this can be your 3 most popular blog posts or even just one. Then they ask people to follow them on social media. Find me on Facebook, Twitter, whatever it is, which is a nice way to connect with your fans. But then they ask them to buy something. Say, hey, here's our latest album. If you want to buy it or download it, you can do it here. Pretty good. This is way better than not having an email list. And, they've sold thousands or maybe hundreds of thousands of music albums doing this. But what they did that increased their conversion by 200%, so it doubled it, is they just put in an unexpected gift right before the ask or the product they're selling. That can be another bonus gift or a preview of the book that they're pushing, whatever it is. If you just give someone a little bit extra of an unexpected bonus, people really, really love that. And they are much more likely to buy the product that you're actually offering if you put that in. So now we know how important it is to have an email list, that it's super profitable to have, that there's really no excuses not to have one. And I've showed you some examples of what to write, how to collect emails. What I want you to do is I want you to create your first opt-in box. You can do it for free with SumoMe, and you can connect it to a free service like MadMimi, which I'll link both of those below. So you could start absolutely for free, and I really encourage everyone to do at least that. But if your site is already making money, or if you are thinking in the long run and you want to really do this correctly, I would use Aweber and Opt-in Monster, which is what I personally use, because Aweber is the autoresponder, and then Opt-in Monster lets you make the beautiful, fancy opt-in boxes. Then I want you to create a welcome email, just introducing yourself, who you are, and encourage people to reply to it and introduce themselves, or to tell you what their goals are, or something related to your blog, your content, your niche. And right away, create some kind of follow-up series. Ideally you'd want 7 emails, or you can just start with a few, and they don't have to be super long or well written yet. If eventually you can always hire an email copywriter or someone, once you start making a lot of money and it makes sense to hire someone for it. But at the beginning, just write something. You just want to touch base, have constant contact, monitor your click open rates, the link presses, how many people are actually clicking your links, and adjust from there. So go ahead and do this action. Post in the forums if you have any questions, or if you want people to sign up for your list, and kind of critique your boxes and all that. I'm happy to take a look at your site. So in the private member forums, just post on your thread or create a new thread. Say, hey, check out my opt-in box. Tell me what you think. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.